Do you want to talk about any of these kinds of things, these kinds of concrete metrics that AI companies can be looking to have in order to show that they have a defensible competitive advantage?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you probably have more information now about what I specifically said in the interview than I have, and great that you. I mean, you speak German, I guess, so you could actually pull it out and not just use a language model to translate it. But yeah, I think one thing we think a lot about is are there any like networks effects on the data side? And I think people have realized that some of these network effects are weaker than they think, because if you, I don't know, if you get access to a data set, that's a great head start, but somebody else can maybe from, I don't know, if it's a medical data set, go to another hospital and get the same data set. And so it's a head start, but it's not like a defensible mode. Like what we find more interesting is if you can, for example, build data sets that are not publicly available and that also you only create as you are doing business. And so I give you a concrete example. For example, we just started a new AI litigation company that basically can do litigation at scale using language models. And there's a lot of legal tech startups. There's a lot of company, language models that are getting better legal, and you can train them on a lot of legal text. But lots of people can do that. But the interesting data we will connect with that company is that once we've done like tens of thousands of cases at the litigation, we will know what arguments work well for which cases and maybe against what other counterparty. And that data is so fragmented across so many, like little law firms that nobody has even aggregated that data, and it would be impossible to aggregate this at scale. Also, because you can only aggregate it prospectively if you, in a more structured way, I guess, build your arguments rather than have like a chaos from hundreds of different law firms. And so that's, I think, a data set we built in the long term that then allows us to create even better arguments in our litigation and maybe win even more cases, and thus makes it even harder for other entrants to come into the market. And that's kind of, I guess, like network effects as you start to be in business with your AI company, and data you collect that is very unique to what you have versus others. And same for our breast cancer screening company. I mean, you can collect a lot of medical images and do partners with hospitals. I think what we have started to collect is like longitudinal data about the same patient coming in over and over again, and also asking for additional information about the patient's history. And so as such, getting a much more concrete picture about the patient's history, and using that all for our AI models and making predictions and training on that. And that's something that data wasn't collected so far. And so it allows us to be better than anyone else just looking at images. And this kind of stuff only works when you are in practice and when your AI model is deployed. And I think that can be very powerful as an AI company.